March 9th, 2025. I told you, some idiot went to say something today. And I just looked at him and I thought, you gotta be kidding me. I have never been charged, prosecuted, or found guilty. No police would ever insult me. Why? Well, one thing, I'm an FBI informant, and like the Canton police said, they get in a lot of trouble. But another thing is, I've never been prosecuted. Is that a cult? Like the guy in the park in Masker's Park today. Some kid went to say something. I heard it off in the distance. And he said, don't say anything to her. I found out she's never been prosecuted. Never found guilty. The police had never insulted her. Exactly. There's police abuse attorneys. The police don't go around slandering people. There's police abuse attorneys. Police abuse attorneys. They don't go around slandering people. Think about it. Like the guy said, don't say anything. I found out it's just that church where having people run around and say stuff. Duh. Huh? Duh. It's that occult. Using the cartel. There's nothing against me. Where they told you idiot people I had charges, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's the cartel and the cult lying. That guy said, you know, if that is Agent John that was down in that restaurant, saying he was in it with that church, the police better arrest him. They better arrest him. Officer Mark and John, you better get him. You better get him. Because he was only supposed to be acting that way to get the drug dealers. Remember when you guys, all the police came up and said stuff to me in Walmart 62? It's only me and you on the phone to make sure you weren't part of the people trying to defraud him? He was going to go after him? He was only acting that way? Well, how many times did they say during the case they paid him off? You took a payoff. If that is him, and if that was him, July 8th, 24, 9:10 in the morning in Altman Hospital Billing Department, admitting that he paid for the cartels to come here, those men to come here, paid for them to show up, paid for them to do all those things to me. He paid for it. He cost thousands of lives. I know she only carried a gun because Dave is controlling. Thank you for admitting you were in it with Dave. And tried to say that I couldn't carry a gun anymore. I can carry a gun. You're nothing but a drug dealer. And if you are the agent over my case, you're in a lot of trouble. Because within a day or two up in Akron, they said they found out the guy in that hospital was telling people he was the agent over my case. Then yesterday, on the 8th, March 8th of 25, in Carrollton, in that restaurant, two guys come in. I've seen them before, staring at me. I don't want anybody saying anything to that family. That guy simply ran a stop sign. He simply murdered that kid. Under the law, he murdered him. Negligent. It's vehicular homicide. He was, oh, hell no. I went, when we had to go to my boyfriend's friend's house, I looked up even where in Cleveland that girl was going like 100 miles an hour, killed everybody else in the car. She's in jail for 15 to life for murder. And I Googled and I put that up on Facebook. And I put it up on Facebook, how fast do you have to go in to lose a limb to get ripped off? 60 to 100. He was dismembered. So he's going 60 to 100 with his grandkid in the car. And like Brian Laney, when he showed up and told us, he didn't even try to stop. He flat out murdered their son. It was vehicular homicide. Okay? But you even confessed he ran that stop sign. Okay? He murdered him. Okay? Then that guy in the restaurant, he's like, he said, I heard some lady has some kind of weird court order. And I'm the one making sure she don't get no money. If that is Agent John, he's in it with the call. They did pay him off. And he is in it with the cartel. And that's how not funny this is. Like that guy in the park, the police better be arresting him. Huh? They better be arresting him. Oh, I've been dealing with Altman family physicians. Those doctors don't know what's going on. And I'm going to have them change their records that it's not a medication anymore. Well, Officer Mark already documented it through the police. It was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors. And if that is Agent John, and Altman family physicians are talking to him, you arrest those doctors. And then you let me know, and I'm going to get an attorney and sue him. Because you officers were with me in 18, and they talked to you while I was there. And they told, and you seen them through the cameras. Well, you're watching, make sure Dave didn't hurt me. That was medication errors. It's medical malpractice and fraud. Huh? And that guy thinks he can change my medical records? He's delusional. And if that is Agent John, he is in it with the cartel and the cult. And it's not an act to get the drug dealers. And you can't stop my money from coming in. You can't stop me from getting any money. And someone needs to put him in jail. That guy doing it, I told you, I used to never even swear. And the officers that work my case, they swear like sailors. And swearing is a non-aggressive way of letting hurt and pain out. And I watched this one movie with Melissa McCarthy in it, Spy, and this one guy called some guy a twat, called him a vagina. So I called that guy down in the restaurant that he was a dickless man. People were laughing at Golden Crow. We all heard her, what she called that guy for paying for all this. It's him. He's been following me. If that is not Agent John, and he's some kind of super bad white criminal crook and daring the cops to arrest him in this area, and he's highly dangerous. The guy doing it was down in the restaurant with me. Do you understand? And he was at Altman Hospital Billing Department, and he's trying to get information on me. And if you guys better stop him. And if I find out they're talking to him, I will have $1 million lawsuit against him. Do we understand? There's HIPAA violations, and they will go to jail. And with that guy that was in Altman Hospital Billing Department, he's telling everybody he's agent on my case. Huh? And he admitted he was in it with Dave. See, back in October 23, I'm in Munchies in the evening. And there's people that work the case, have been around me since 18. They were in there and said, I was laughing with my client's family. And they said, I looked over and they're talking, I'm watching them. And they're like, it's so good to see Karen happy again. We all know when we listen to how that guy talked to her, she didn't know what those people were doing. She didn't know anything. At least now we don't have to worry about her going back to Dave again. Okay? A lot of them were afraid I'd go back up there for him to kill me. Then there was a guy over at the other table. He's like, none of this is funny. There's another murder plot. They're going to try to see if they can't make her not be able to carry a gun. They'll show up and kill her. It's another murder plot. I overheard them. They told me that in 23. And then that guy shows up in 24. That was him. This guy in 25 down at Virginia's restaurant. Those two men come in. They sit down. I've seen him before. And he's admitting he's in it with that family. Like that guy in Meskers Park telling that kid not to say anything. Do you realize how stupid you look? Some cartel in some occult, some fucked up church is running around lying on me. I have one traffic ticket from 89. I have no charges. No police would tell you to say something to somebody who's never been prosecuted, never charged, never found guilty. Not only would they be in trouble with the state, they'd lose their badge. they would lose their badge and I could sue. There's police abuse attorneys. I've never been prosecuted for anything. Do people in Louisville remember in 19 when I moved in here? They told you that some occult, some church, and my husband was trying to have me killed? Do you remember people here saying that there was a shooting night and people got killed and the other people were here to ask you all to protect me? Do you remember when they told you I was an FBI informant and I almost died to save my family? How many times in 19 there was groups and groups of people here? Remember the Asian lady said she lost her husband? Oh, and for the idiots that say Karen's Will's the one not good enough to go out with, that was a big scam. Oh, Will wants to go out with her. Oh, Will. Oh, she's not good enough for Will. Like they said a couple of weeks ago in Penny's, they were only saying it, trying to keep her alone. It was the drug cartel pulling a scam here. You look like fucking morons. You look like you're on a backside of a hill in West Virginia. You only see your sister and you only learn to count on your toes and fingers. You have no education and not a brain cell in your head. They're just running around lying to pull a scam on you. I have no charges, no accusations, nothing. FBI informant. My husband was part of he joined the drug cartel, hired him in his church, Lighthouse Tabernacle and New Life in Massillon. You want to put it that way? They hired him. They made fun of FBI agent John. June 7th, they made a public fool out of him. That in Walmart 62 sold videos of it. FBI agent John fell for the stun at tapes before. Oh, come on now, that FBI agent fell for that? You're kidding. Was only a stunt. You mean John actually fell for it? You mean FBI agent John fell for the stun at tapes before? Lighthouse Tabernacle. They're in it with the drug cartel. Now, if you guys think it's funny that a church is hiring the cartel that's here killing people, what's really scary is that guy that was in Altman Hospital Building Department, July 8th, 24, 9:10 in the morning. You can hear him in the background. Well, that lady's trying to act like my credit card didn't work, and I just used it at McDonald's. You could hear him in the background how he paid for everything. And if that is Agent John, he was already in the cartel. That's how not funny it is. But the guy that was paying for everything, he was in Altman Hospital Building. Like people said, he's already confessed. Why don't they arrest him? And if that's him in Carrollton, at Virginia's restaurant looking at me, yeah, he's in it with that family. And you can't change my medical records. And if you're saying you're the agent over my case, and you're not, and if you are, the police need to arrest you. And you can't touch my medical records. I don't care who the hell you think you are. You can't do that. It's documented fraud, medical malpractice, medication errors. I had all those surgeries and my muscles clutched. Like the nurse said, you were cut in so many places. That's why they seized. You have 6 to 10 surgeries on your leg. You won't be able to use your leg. Like Dr. Eli said, he put me on fentanyl patches. He said, your muscles are a lot tight from all it being cut in so many places. He said, I have to get you out enough pain to move them. The only way to unlock muscles is to move them. As you move them, blood flow will get pushed into them. As blood flow gets pushed into them, they'll relax and then you can build new muscle tissue. It took me 9 months to get well. Those people were lying so bad. Those doctors, they said I have brain tumors, epilepsy, MS, and they were wanting to cut out a healthy part of my brain. If I would have sued them, I would have been a multimillionaire. And what's not funny is that a call is saying they had those paid off dirty doctors. It wasn't just fraud and them being dirty. They were hired hitmen, that they were paying them off. See, that's what the cops were afraid of. And now they're going around saying how they had those dirty doctors in their pockets 20-something years ago. That's how not funny this is. And I almost died. I went from 105 pounds to 275 in 2 years. And I swelled up like a balloon till my knees were popping out of place. Heart attack, seizures, thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. I almost fucking died. Thank God for Altman Family Physicians. They told me how bigger crooks are known for doing that to people. And then, over 9 months, I slowly got well. And in the middle of me getting well is when that idiot ran that stop sign. Started in November of 2002. By April, I'm almost well of 2003. May 3rd, 2003 was that traffic accident. Had nothing to do with it. I was at home. Brian had to come tell us. Come July of 2003, I got well. November of 2003, my sister is married to that occult leader Strange. His son, Tim. She had caught him out with another woman. She's followed him. She came up to me at church. I saw him again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. I'm sorry, be careful. He took my kid and pushed him to suicide by Sunday. And made up that shitty lie. Did it have anything to do with the fucked up Vegas? No. No. It's 6 months later he called me a faker. A faker. It takes a moron to fall for that. It's documented medical malpractice, medication errors, and fraud. They were defrauding you, ripping off your insurance, treating it like a checking account, getting kickbacks from the drug companies, making you so sick they'll do unnecessary procedures. If I would have sued them, I would have been a millionaire. But that idiot pushed my kid to suicide. And he was in counseling for 2 years, and I had to take him 3 times a week, and I had to go get a job with insurance by then, because it had lapsed. And I had to pay for all that. My family was more important than revenge. Got it? Now, you think about that. Somebody calls me a faker. 6 months later, it has nothing to do with her father murdering her child. The law looks at it as murder. If Phil would have lived, he would still be in jail. He was going 60 to 100 miles an hour to be dismembered. Tyler got ejected, dead on impact. Huh? He didn't even try to stop. Didn't even try. It was flat out murder. Your negligence while you're driving, you cause a death. It's vehicular homicide. That's murder. Like that teenage girl that was going 100 miles an hour, killed 3 other kids in the car, 2 or 3 other kids. She's in jail for 15 to life. So what would Phil be in? Jail, if he would have lived. Her father murdered her son. Did Strange calling me a faker have anything to do with him? No, it didn't affect her father murdering her son. So you think 15 years later, found out that where that agent said he met with that family in his office and all those church people. I know they're trying to kill you because you were faking, you were sick and faking you got well. Well, that family was grieving. Stranger's lie. I heard they were in there telling people, we didn't feel worthy. Worthy of what? Your father fucking murdered your kid. Say it like it is the truth. Your father fucking murdered your kid. Worthy of what? Worthy of what? Mine was a medication error, medical malpractice. And fraud almost killed me. Had nothing to do with you. I had nothing to do with that. And your father running a stop sign.